The quick selection tool, this makes selections by finding the edges of an object. It selects parts of an image that's different from the rest of the scene in terms of color and brightness. So if we click this, you'll have a circle here, all right? You can hold Control and Alt at the same time. While you right click and hold, you can drag right or left to change the size. You can drag up or down to change the hardness, right? For selection tools, you're probably just going to keep the hardness at 100, and you just use this to change the size. All right, so say we want to select something small, we need it smaller. And then all you do is you click and drag, and it's going to select objects by the color and the brightness, right? So once we have an active selection, you see I got all this selected. Say there was something else on that layer that you wanted to select. Say we just wanted this little part right here. If there's a plus sign in the middle of the circle, that means you're adding to the selection, right? So all this is one selection. If you want to get rid of parts of a selection, you're going to hold Alt, and you'll just drag over whatever you don't want selected. Say we don't want the eyes, right? We'll just get rid of that. So the top options we have up here, obviously you got your presets. I got some for different sizes. So say I got a 10 pixel preset all the way up to 100. You can see the circle changes. Then we got a new selection, add to or subtract from selection options here. Usually you don't even have to mess with this. Like I said, you can hold Alt to subtract from a selection. Next, this is just for the brush tip. You can change the size here. If I brought it all the way up, makes it bigger and smaller. You can change the hardness from here, the spacing, the angle, roundness, and you can choose size with pen pressure, stylus wheel. I always leave pen pressure because I have a Wacom tablet. This sets the brush angle. For selections, you're probably never going to use the angle. Then you can choose sample all layers. Sample all layers means if there's a bunch of layers underneath this and you make a selection, say you have a composite with like 20 different layers and you're trying to make a selection, if you have sample all layers, it's going to select that area on every layer. If you don't have this on, it's only going to select on whatever active layer you have at the time. Enhance edge, this automatically enhances the selection edge. Next we got select subject, and this is where Photoshop is going to study your image or your layer and determine what's the subject in the layer, and then it's going to select that. Now when you're using this, you're going to definitely want to probably turn off sample all layers if your selection is only on one layer, right? Say I only want this eagle selected, I'm going to shut that off. Then you're going to hit the drop down and you're going to choose between quicker results or more detailed results. I always choose cloud, more detailed. And then I'll hit select subject. And then Photoshop processes the image and chooses what it thinks the subject is. So it gets a pretty good selection. And then after that, we got select and mask. It opens up a whole new window where you have your selection, your active selection. You got some tools on the right. You got quick selection tool, refine edge brush tool, the regular brush tool, the object selection. Then you have the lasso and polygonal lasso tool, and then the hand and zoom tools, right? Then over here you got view mode. You can change, you got onion skin, marching ants. You can have an overlay with a specific color, on black, on white, all those. You can show edge or not, show original or not, real-time refinement, high quality preview. It's also got some presets. You can load or save them. Then there's refine mode. You can do object aware or color aware. you'd want to use color aware if there's a lot of color contrast in your image. You got edge detection, global refinements like smooth, feather, and contrast, and shift edge. And then finally, you got output settings. You can choose what to output this to. Say you want to output your selection to a new layer. You can do a new document with a layer mask, new layer with a layer mask. You can output this as just a layer mask itself or a selection. Once you click OK, it's going to output that to this selection, right? So now I got just whatever I had selected as its own layer. It didn't touch the original layer, right? We just have a new one. So that's a quick selection tool. Comment down below if you got any questions on how to use it. If you need some help, be sure to get back to you, or one of my other viewers might get back to you sooner. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.